Hello and welcome back, friends. Welcome to lab 3. This lab is divided into two parts, and the lab is to be only for controller node. But what we are going to do is we are going to install and configure Keystone, and Keystone work only on the controller node. Okay, so let's start. You see I have instructions beside me. I just take a note of the instructions so that I don't forget any sequence, and you also should have these notes, kind of notes, in your hand. Alright, so what we will be using it, we shall be using rabbit password wherever required. It will be rabbit pass, which I explained in the previous session. Keystone database password will be Keystone DB pass. Admin password will be user ID will be admin, and password will be admin pass. A normal user which I'm going to create in this session is Sangwan user with Sangwan password. So these are the basic things which I will be requiring. So first is what you need to do is you need to load MySQL, start MySQL, and create the database. So create database MySQL or the Keystone. Okay, first step, create database Keystone. Right, this is first step, database creation. So we are creating a database with the name Keystone. Database created, so this part is done. Now what we need to do is we need to create a database user with the name Keystone, which will access this database Keystone. Okay, and so username will be Keystone, database is Keystone, the password will be Keystone database, right? So Keystone DB pass. So since the line is quite lengthy, so I'm using this line break option, right, to continue the statement in the next line. So this is just for the continuation of the command in the next line. So this is what grant on privileges on keystone dot star to keystone at localhost identified by keystone db pass, as I told you, right? Same way, if you don't want to use this, no problem. You can continue the command in the next line, same line also. So just to save time, I'm using copy paste. That's it. Otherwise, I know grant all privileges means I want to grant all privileges on which database? Keystone. What all objects of the database? All databases. That is dot star to the username. Now after that you see at the rate percent sign. Percent sign means from anywhere this user connect, he should be granted privileges. What is the password? Password is Keystone DB pass. So this job is done. Now the package installation, you can exit from this now. Database is created, password is ready, and now we need to install the packages. So install this Keystone, Apache 2, and all these softwares are required to be installed. So let's install this required softwares on this. Okay, so let it finish the installation. Installation is done. Now what we need to do is we need to edit this file for setting up the token which is served by Fornet and database connection settings. So for that we need to edit the file /etc/keystone/keystone.conf, right? We need to edit this file. Now log directory is fine, we don't need to do this. So what we need to check is the connection, right? Let's search for connection. So this is connection. So we should look for database. So let's try searching the database. So what we need to do is we need to use this database, right? We got this. So by default this is a connection. I always suggest that don't blindly change the existing setting. You may require it for another setting. So what you should do instead is comment out the existing line and add your own line to that. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm commenting out the existing line and adding my own line to this, right? So this is what my line is, which is I'm not using SQLite, I'm using MySQL plus Python MySQL module to access this Keystone database, Keystone DB password and controller. At the host name is controller and Keystone is the database. So this is what I'm using, and my connection settings are this one only. Now next I need to search for the token. So for that // token, right? Token, I need to search this. So here the token is. So I need to use Fornet. It might be given already. I just need to uncomment that. If it is not given, no problem. Provide is equal to Fornet. Look at this. This is the line. So same thing I'm going to do here also. I'm not going to use the existing line. I'll use copy paste and I'll uncomment the new line and then just uncomment it. These are the two settings which require on this line as of now. Alright. So this part is done. Now what we need to do is we need to populate the database with the tables. So there will be around 44 tables which this database, this command will create. Okay, so this is populating the database. It will take few minutes and it will create 44 tables and will verify whether those tables are created or not. Okay, we'll verify those. If you want, we can verify that while working. While this is working, we are already working on this. So let's check that MySQL. Okay, and show databases. All right, and these are the databases. So use Keystone. Okay, the database uses. Now show tables. This will show me the tables. Right now there is no table created. That means there definitely there is something wrong with the connection settings. So we need to check that. And what is the problem? We have to take a look at that, and we need to exit from here and let's look at that log tables. Right. So let's go to that tail. This is how the troubleshooting is to be done. Tail -f/var/log/MySQL and error logs. Okay, take a look at that. So these are the logs. Look at this socket, port number this, and server socket created, completion initialization of buffer pools. Are we getting any error here? Dumping, no, we're not getting any error. So I think it might be working. Let's take a look at. No problem. Still working? Yes. Let's check on this. Use Keystone. Problem is that this will not throw any error. So error might be in a Keystone. We'll take a look at there also, right? So database change, show tables. There is no table created. That means the sync has not worked, and until it worked we cannot continue. So we need to troubleshoot it. Okay, let me troubleshoot and get back to you in few minutes. Let's do some troubleshooting, team, my friends. So what was the error? Let's look at it. I have not fixed the error, but I got the idea. When I try to connect manually for using the username and password which I created, that is MySQL -u Keystone -p, which I'll supply, and host name is controller, because these were the connection settings given in my keystone.conf file. And I got the hint here. It says that found option without preceding group in the configuration file, which I set in the previous lab. So be careful. We need we got the error. Error is located here. So I'll open this file and then we'll definitely fix the error, right? So vim, and then we need to change this file and the error in this line only, right? And we got that error. Error is we need to give the section here MySQL D. All right, so we need to specify this. Without this was the problem. Okay, now if I restart my service, system secret restart MySQL, and the service is restarted, and then I try to reconnect, it should be able to reconnect, right? Keystone DB pass, it should connect it. That was the problem. So we got it now, and hopefully if I press it now, if I try, it will populate the database. Let's do that population of the database now. So error is not that difficult to track if you get into to that and look at it. It works so well, so quickly. So to verify, let's look at just open the database and verify it. Use Keystone, show tables. All right. Right now, even now, no tables created. Okay, that means something is still missing. We need to fix more things. We need to look at the errors now. How to track errors? For this, I'm going to use the tail hyphen up option, and I'm going to issue the same command to track the errors. This is my Keystone configuration file, and let me show this now. We are going to use the same command now again, and it'll throw the error in this file. Look at the errors now. So here we are. Create table, key was too long. Okay, so primary key, so my god, so many errors are there. It's trying to create the tables. Look at this, key length is a problem, right? Okay, we'll see this also. Let's open this file in VI editor. We'll see at what point the error triggered. VIM, and we'll go to the bottom, and from here we'll track down where the errors start coming. As errors start coming at this, right? So that is how we do the troubleshooting. We need to look at the log files. Don't run away from looking at these error files, log files, because log gives you the region and location where the error exists. Alright, so let me try this first. Track the errors. So let's take a look at this error, my friends. The error was basically, if you look at create table, okay, and the key size, right, the error came if you look at the size of the key. If you look at this, let me see if my mouse is working. Let me see if my mouse works. Let me take the mouse. Okay, look at this line, Keystone database error, right? This was the error. The maximum key length is this. This is because of the character set. So we need to set the character set to UTF-8, right? For this we need to make changes into the file. The file is let me just take you to that file also. Okay, the file is the same file where we were working, which we configured in the earlier session. So we need to make changes into this client section, which I just added. It was not there earlier. Default character set UTF-8. This is one. And second, MySQL section, which was not there earlier. I add default character set UTF-8 here also. And for this, I made one more change here. Default character set server, it is UTF-8, and init connect set names UTF-8. So whatever options are there for character set, you need to make them to UTF-8. I made that, and then after that what I did, I simply dropped the database and restarted my services. So after dropping the database, after restarting my services, I simply issued the same statement again, that is to create the database. So I issued this statement, create database again. User was already created, and then after I issued this statement, I got this. So troubleshooting happens step by step. There is no shortcut. There is no magic wand for troubleshooting. The first was the connection setting itself. It was not able to connect to the database. So I got that error. So I resolved that error because section name was not given in the file 99 openstack.cnf, which I configured for my server. So first was that section name was not given. Second, it started giving me the error of length of the key size. The key size maximum allowed was 767. That was the error which I've got. So for that reason, to troubleshoot that, what we need to do, we change that character set to UTF-8 everywhere, and we made changes into this file. After that, what we did, we simply dropped the database, we recreated it, and once I recreated the database, I can show you the database is populated now. Use Keystone and show tables. As I told you earlier, there will be around 44 tables which will be created. Show tables. Alright, so 44 tables are created in this. So database is populated. Now we are good to go to the next step. So up to here, this part is done. Populate the database. We have done this successfully. So 2 errors encountered. You may get these errors, so be careful and troubleshoot the errors the way I just explained to you. You have to look at your own log files. I'll tell you the log file location once again. When you troubleshoot, the errors are located at this file. And how to do that? There's a way to monitor that. Tail -f /var/log/keystone/keystone.log. Okay, Keystone manage. This was the error file, because when Keystone is accessing this, the errors are logged in this file. Now this was the information. Tail means last errors, so you can press multiple enter keys, and so that you can get the blank space here. And now if you start working on it, if you start populating on it, you will get the error messages here directly. So generally what we do is, in troubleshooting, we open these 2 windows, right? So we open 2 windows. One, we work, and second, we monitor the errors. And this is how the troubleshooting is done. Now this part is done. Now initialize the Fornet repositories. Let's do that now. And we are Fornet key repositories need to be initialized. I'm just using copy paste to save my space, save my time. So Keystone manage, Fornet setup, Keystone user, Keystone, Keystone group, Keystone. So this is a Fornet key repositories monitored, and now generate the credentials. That is credential setup for this. Okay, same again. To save the time, I'm using copy paste. Keystone manage, credential setup, Keystone user, Keystone, and Keystone group, Keystone. So this part is already done. Now what we need to do is, we need to bootstrap the identity service. For that, we need to issue this entire log command. Mind it, this is the password which I specified, admin password. If you change it, you remember what password you are giving. So I need to issue all these commands. Multiple options are there, because we need to specify the multiple endpoints. I'll explain the concept of endpoints in the session. If you have watched my session, I explained the entire concept in the session. Alright, this is my admin URL, that is endpoint for the admin. This is my endpoint for the internal, because there are only 3 endpoints which are required for this purpose: admin endpoint, internal endpoint, and then we have public endpoint. 3 endpoints are mandatory for bootstrapping, right? Admin, internal, and public. And then bootstrap region is region 1, which we want to configure for it. Okay, so this way it will bootstrap the identity service. Now what we need to do is, we need to edit this file, apache.conf file, apache2.conf file. Why? We need to verify that server name is controller or not. Okay, let's look at the server name. Server name. So even if you don't see the server name here, you see I don't have server name. So what I'll do is, I'll simply copy this line. Okay, I'll simply copy this line. I'm on the top, and now here, wherever I can find space or server name or global configuration, server root, let me copy it here itself. Server name. Server name is controller, and this is how you can copy the server name. Okay, it was not given, so I configured it. Absolutely no problem. Now I enable the Apache 2 service. So systemctl restart Apache 2. Okay, and enable Apache 2 so that it starts at the restart of my server, and check the status. Apache 2 is running. So Apache is configured. So we are done with step number 8. Now we need to configure some variables, environment variables, and then we need to create product, domain, users, and roles. So let's export some of the environment variables. But then remember, if you look at my labs also, I use hash sign before the command. That means that command is to be accessed or issued as root. If I'm using $sign, that means I have to exit from this, and I have to issue the command as normal user. So I'm going to use this command now. As now onward, all this is to be used as normal user. So I'm issuing export OS username admin, okay, and the password which I specified. I'm creating this environment variables to create users and roles and all. For future use, what am I going to do is I'm going to save all these variables, environment variables, in a file, and I'll call that file as and when required. So this is going to be my easy job for next time. So for first time, just to demonstrate, I'm exporting these individual variables one by one, right? The auth URL and everything. And because to save time, I'm using copy paste. Alright, now you can create, this is part 2 lab now. Create domain, project, user and roles. Let's start. So this is how we create domain. Create a new domain. OpenStack domain, create description, the Skillpedia domain, and the domain name is Skillpedia. So let's create it. And it will display the details. Now it is asking for the username, and the username, oh sorry, asking for the password. So let's issue the password is for this I'm using password as admin pass. Okay. So domain is created. I use admin pass for this purpose. Now create a service project. Okay, OpenStack project, create admin default, description is service project, service, admin pass. Every time I have to enter the password. Service is created. Now we'll create unprivileged user, unprivileged project, and a normal user, unprivileged project and the user both. Let's issue this command. So Skillpedia demo project. Right, now we are creating the user also. So this is unprivileged user. Oh, I need to specify the password. So we need to specify the password of the admin user, that is admin pass. And now it is asking for the user password. Alright, now we are creating a role. Create my role. Every time it is asking the password, I'm giving the password of admin user. Okay, role created, and now we want to add my role to the Skillpedia project and the Sangwan user. So let's issue this statement. Okay, so this will add that role to the Sangwan user. A role is my role, user is Sangwan. Every time I have to enter the password. Alright, and now this is also done. To verify, what we need to do is we can unset this. Okay, and now try this as admin user. We can request for a token. Let's try. Okay, this will ask us, this will issue a token for us. So let's try this. So token issue, very important statement for verification of job. It's asking for the password, and it will issue the token. Now we got the token details. Alright, now this part is also done. Now as user Sangwan, let's request for an authentication token. That was as an admin user. Try step by step. Okay, all these labs are available on my website, theskillpedia.com. You can check these labs, and descriptions are also given. The entire lecture is discussed in the entire details are discussed in the previous session. Alright, oh, we need to specify the password for the user Sangwan, and that was Sangwan password. Yes, token got the token issued. And now we need to create the script, because every time we are asked to enter the credentials, so better is we create a script with this name. That's the best thing. So let's create a script with this name, right? So so that every time we don't have to enter the password. So advantage is that we'll use all these variables and dump in this file. Okay, so there's project name, add domain name, username, password, right? We enter these details. So next time it will not ask us to enter the password. Same way we create a demo RC also, demo open RC for the demo user sang1, right? So vim for demo user, we are creating this demo file. All the variables which were used to make them environment variables, we are putting this here. So password for user sang1 and this, right? And that's also done. Now you can use this, load this file and request for a token. It will be very simple. So you can use source command, source admin rc, and or you can use dot space admin open rc, and you can simply use now OpenStack token issue. All right. So once you have used that, it will issue the token to you. So that's how you work. So our Keystone Identity Service has been configured successfully. We have verified the operation, we have issued the token, and that's all for this lab. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.